Hi everyone, welcome to the Root Culture. So in today's episode we're going to talk about plant profile Platycerium Veitchii. So we're going to show you two different styles of the Veitchii. One is the normal form, the basic form, and one is the silver frond. So this Veitchii is the standard form Veitchii, and the Veitchii are one of the Platyceriums that do very well in a hot, warm, and also in a dry condition. So you can also keep them in slightly tropical climates like Singapore, and also they do well. But in nature where they can be found on Rocky Mountains. So Platycerium Veitchii are, in our opinion, one of the nicer Platyceriums out there. But it also depends on which kind of stand conference that you really like. So for us, we are attracted to this because one thing about the Veitchii is that, so given a good bright environment, their fertile fronds tend to be a little bit on the whiter side. Their shoot frond also tend to be very majestic, and they have formed little crowns around the area. Quite similar to Willingsii, but they are more petite in their crown shape. This Veitchii we got here is a tissue culture Veitchii. Slightly slow on the initial growth, but once it took off, it started producing very beautiful fertile fronds. And so, how we keep our Veitchii are in areas that are pretty windy, but it also has a good amount of sunlight. So we grow them in an area that has afternoon sun also, but not in the sense that it's very direct, more in the sense that slightly diffused, but they do get a little bit of the sun rays on them. So there's one that we grow in quite a bright area, and the media always dries up by the next day, but we can also skip the watering for 1 or 2 days and then they still do fine on that. But as you mentioned, watering really depends on your grow area. I'm going to show you the other Veitchii, which is the Veitchii silver frond. And so this is the Veitchii silver, slightly thinner than the standard Veitchii, but it also produces a very beautiful white frond. There is another form of the Veitchii green, which is just a greener form of the Veitchii. So if you prefer something on the silvery side, get a Veitchii that is the normal one or the silver frond Veitchii. So that's one that we have. We've been trying it for 3 times already, and that's the tissue cultured one. So we're going to explain a little bit on that. We personally feel that this is a collector must-have. So this little one here is called the Veitchii Abun River, and if you've seen some of the photos online for the Abun River, they form extremely beautiful crowns on the shoot fronds. Another thing we want to discuss on this is that this is a tissue cultured Veitchii Abun River. So for tissue cultured circumference, it is ultimately a gamble on, there are the healthy ones, they are the vigorous ones, and they are also the ones that don't do so well, that means the weaker ones. Our third time trying the Abun River, the first one was a bit too weak when it came, and then it ultimately perished after a couple of weeks. For the second one, we grew in a pot, and then there was an episode where the rat did a little bit of the growth point, and so the plant ultimately perished. So for this one here we have, it's already past the critical stage, but we'd like to see a little bit more growth on it. So what we're going to do next is to start on the slow release fertilizer regimen, and then we will see how it goes from there. So do let us know in the comment section below, what's your encounter with the Veitchii, the Platycerium Veitchii? Which is your favorite Veitchii? And if you would prefer to, would you rather get an established plant or a young plant?